Welcome to the SorareAndrews show, where we talk fantasy football, but you never know. We'll start with the game, but we'll soon go astray off topic discussions that we play. We'll analyze the teams, the formation and goals, but in no time we'll digress into other roles, talking about our favorite foods and the shows we've seen. Our opinions aloud and our voices on me. It's the SorareAndrews show. Anything goes, from fantasy football to rock and roll. We may start with the pitch, but it's just a small part. We'll venture off topic, let the conversation spark. It's the SorareAndrews show.
Hello and welcome to the SorareAndrews show. I am Andrew Lay. You can find me as Lairdino on Sorare, joined as always by Andy Black on Sorare, and to kick off 2025, the legend himself, Quinny. Quinny, like I said a few minutes ago, couldn't think of a better way to start the year, so thank you for coming on.
No, my absolute pleasure, and I hope I wish it was in better circumstances, but I'm feeling a wee bit of a Debbie Downer coming into this one for some unknown reason. Can't really put my finger on it.
Sometimes,
see you, Happy New Year.
Sometimes it's just cloudy. That's all. Tomorrow, the sun will be out. Andy, how's it going?
You're guaranteeing that tomorrow the sun will be out, huh?
I guarantee it will be out somewhere.
Okay. Fair enough.
Am I really on a ledge on that one? Or
I mean, tomorrow could be another bad day. You know?
It could be. You're right. You're right.
And then the day after that could be bad too. Like, honestly, today could be Quinny's best day of the year. It could be the best day of the year for him, and it's all downhill from here.
Do not do that.
This is how we're starting this, huh?
Perish the thought.
When you, maybe we should
Nope.
just
Fix that out.
It's your last warning there, Andy Black. I'll have none of that. None of it.
I take it all back.
Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Rude, DNP, Donkey, and Ducky. I don't know that name. Or, I mean, I haven't recognized it. The background and thumbnail reminds me of SoRare Mega, which is about to make a comeback, apparently. You guys fired up for the return of SoRare Mega?
Do you know, see, when I heard that, I thought, brilliant. My teams used to be so much better when SoRare Mega was on, because I used to just do it as like a thought experiment on my players, you know, because the first thing you pick is your best three. So you're starting off and you're like, right, well, who are my best three guys?
Mm-hmm.
And so on and so forth, all the way to like SO9 or whatever. So then when I'd come to build my teams, I'd be like, well, I know who my best three guys are. So how do I get them into a team somehow? And again, so on and so forth from there. So I don't know how well I'll do at SoRare Mega, but I'm buzzing for it because of all that.
Do you think they'll have rewards?
Surely, hopefully. Doubt it.
Surely, hopefully, doubt it. Now they have to Sorare doesn't provide. They're not going to provide rewards anymore, right?
I would assume not.
Okay. It'll be interesting to see what they come up with, because I think that's a big part of it. And like, I would love for them to have like a illegal gambling type like operation going on over there. I think that'd be excellent, and would love to get involved with that. But we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what they're doing.
Do you prefer that they do an illegal gambling thing or a legal gambling one?
Illegal,
like,
more
do you
fun,
just like the
for
thrill
sure.
of illegally gambling?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, like with little entry fees. Yeah.
I think Andy wants that kind of feel of it being like in a secret room, but at the back of a pub. You know, you got to have a secret knock. Got to know the phrase to get in the door. He wants that kind of vibe to it, maybe.
I want to feel like I'm a bad boy, kind of. You know? Shout out to Detroit bad boy.
That's fair. That's fair. Teach their own. Anyway, Bob Franklin, Stefan, Johnny, what's up? Risu, Happy New Year. Mikey Bastin, Blue Tomatoes, Dodzilla. Hey, Dino, we are back. That's right. Paul, can't wait to catch this one after work later with a cold beer. God save the king. So Roberto, Quinny's already in. Major NFT. Mike Basson says, does in space count for the sun being out?
Default, no.
Maybe. Cameron, sorry, Quinny, are you, he's not hiding it. It's just warm.
No,
It's
no,
just
it's
cool. Yeah.
It's chilly. It's actually freezing today. Here, like ice and stuff.
Yeah, see, there we go. Liam, what's up? And Mike Basson said, like, you're coming in with the fake hoops. I think they're real hoops though, right? They're just somebody else's hoops. Maybe it's actually
Do they need to be all the way around?
do they go
Yeah,
all
they
the way
do.
around, Quinny?
Not
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it probably does. I think yours also kind of go like this, Andy. It's not like
Yeah,
a straight line.
they're also just stripes. They're not
yeah.
actual
They're just
hoops.
stripes. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like the first time we got Nike, they put those mad sweat things on the side of the strip, and they broke the hoops. It was quite a controversial thing at the time.
I bet.
So they had to make sure some of them joined at least. So they made like the bottom three fine. Can't remember the whole.
Did you like color it in yourself? The green?
I personally was just like happy that it was Nike we had rather than Umbro. So
That's it.
but
Scosmo, Surface, Nicholas Youngbird joined the platform recently and really benefit from the stream recordings. Happy to catch one live. Thanks for coming in, Nicholas. Way to be. Go over to Quinny's channel, Quinny 3001. Plenty of stuff there too. Hoodwink, D1872, Toby, what's up? Mike Baston, like this. Maybe SoRare Mega will give us market credits. Essence, maybe?
why?
Maybe?
I could see them like if there was a capitalistic nature to it in some way, like buying OK cards to give away is not that much of a problem, really. Like if you have some sort of profit generator somehow, like there's pardon me, Black's talking about paying on for entry fees or something. So like cards are kind of cheap enough, aren't they, really, if you had a marketing budget rather than paying to boost posts and all the other stuff that normal companies do. Just go and buy some stars.
Yeah.
SoRare will give you
why
them.
not? Agent Cooper said, predict two things for 2025. Classic cards will be great again and worth more than in-season cards. And secondly, Quinny and his channel will take off and be even richer than John Nellis.
One of those things is true.
It's probably not the cards, though.
I think you could just become like John's never. Yeah, I don't think anyone in football will over. Like John's on a mad, as we all know, on a mad rocket ship now. And there's only a few people. I heard them talking somewhere because I listen to everything they do, like kind of like podcasts and stuff. I think you guys follow them as well. But I think like there'll be a point where numbers wise, nobody will catch them. They'll just keep going. You know, in terms of like actual head count and view count and all that. But could you make more money than John? Maybe.
Maybe if these classic cards can.
If the classic cards come back, then
in here.
But well, John does have a lot of classics also, must be said.
That's a good
So
point.
it's not like you've got a real head start on him there either, you know. So
That is a good one.
good brain teaser.
Yeah. Scosmo said, Super Rare will become the most desirable scarcity.
Amen.
Is there any way that happens, like without just going back to threshold?
It's money, isn't it? That's what, you know, when I had them on the channel a few months ago, we were chatting about it. I think we actually spoke about it not long thereafter on some stream somewhere. It just needs money thrown at it. They can't do anything about cards. It's just the unavoidable fact of the matter and whatever. It just needs money chucked at it.
Yeah.
I mean, Andy's been chucking money at Super Rares now in order to win money. So it's as simple as that.
But some people do it. Like if you can play in season, by all accounts, like it's a fair
That's
fight.
what I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I think a big part of that too, like, can you do okay in it? Yes, you can. But like Scosmo said, there's
Why
well, I
bother?
guess he didn't really say it, but like, yeah, like why do that when you can just play rare or limited? Like, why? What's the hook there for playing super rare?
Classic?
Either one, classic or in season.
So there was a I don't want to say who it was because it certainly wasn't this public conversation, but there was somebody who mentioned, Andy, you were in this conversation as well,
Gossip.
or at least in this place where it was, that Super Rare is actually the most profitable in-season scarcity for users on SoRare in
Yeah.
terms of like cost of cards versus how much you win.
Yeah.
And I just don't believe them.
But that is very much I don't know what the way to explain it is, but because there is so few cards, that cost of entry is like quite distinctly tied to whoever is like carrying the can for those cards. And multi-entry is a huge thing at that level, you know, so you'd be able to cover the bases well enough in a few different scenarios. Like, not to use them as the example for this stuff all the time, but Pranksy plays like a Newcastle stack and an Arsenal stack and a Man City stack or whatever. And it's just, hey, whose turn is it? You know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like, even though the average cost of that squad would be X, like you be able to copy that build is not going to cost X. It's going to cost X times 5, or it won't be able to be less, and you won't have the same characters, and then you're at a different risk kind of situation or success rate.
I think
So it's
the
weird
only way
that way.
I think the only way to really play in those spots, Quinny, is to do a thing. You know, like have like a Fulham stack or something, because you're always going to have the Pranksies out there with the nuts. And if you want to compete with them, you have to have something that is weird, different, you know. And you're going to win less than him for sure. You're just going to win less. But
Yeah.
your stack should be easy to pay off with a podium, right? So that's the only way that I really see competing, because you're not going to be able to build a better super rare gallery than I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, and most normal human beings can't build a better super rare unique gallery than Pranksy.
Not with that attitude.
Maybe that's my
fair
New
enough.
Year's resolution this year is build a better super rare and unique gallery than Pranksy. Winning the lottery too, I guess.
Does one come before the other?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just checking. You gonna say something, Quinny?
I was kind of between a few thoughts, and I thought they're probably all just gibberish. But like on super rares, like
What show do you think you're on? Come on.
yeah, fair enough. Of course. But I'm used to being in the chat on these ones. But no, fair enough. I think with like with my super rares, like it's probably like the most like epitome of a strategy I've got on there now. But it is just like random guys for the most part. There's maybe a little bit of collections on the go, but it is just like try to win in seasons and then try and play it. And I've so far this season only got 4 super rare cards in season. One through crafting, which was like a DNP keeper that is nowhere near the team. And then I got Kyle Larson is like a tier 3 or something for finishing third, which was like, okay, at least he plays most of the time. And then I got a Lionheart and a Dimitrovic for finishing like, well, I won a D3 at a canter.
Right, yeah.
Both the fullbacks went off, which was just pure poetry on a Friday night. 2 100s from right back in the back. It's like, give me it,
Yeah.
give me the fullback, you know, big pay in. So that was sweet. The Dimitrovic is also a playing goalkeeper. So that's me. I'm like, oh, cool. I can actually now field a team, and it's taken me half the season essentially, you know.
Mhm.
And that's a bit of bad luck because a lot of my guys have been bloody injured, or I've had a transfer, and it's like bedding in period and jostling with some other guy for the job and all that crap. So it's kind of like in terms of like classic as well. It depends on the price of the cards. I picked up an Andy Robertson super rare for 80 quid. You know what I mean? Like what? Robbo's like cheap Trent for the last 3 years or whatever. He's not really too far off that now in a lot of ways. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but he's not too dissimilar. But it's just that it's so more competitive because like the wins I've got, I've had to like rather than me doing the whole let's get to D1, then I want to play my best team in my best spot, and when my time is in, like that double fullback stuff, like I'll win the best division possible. I've changed my strategy for the last month to be in I want to bully D3 because I'm in D2 and D1 all the time and going nowhere. So let me just play my best team in D3. And like, if I win it, it's a tier 2. And the chances of getting a tier 2 in these other divisions is just not happening. So that was the kind of little flip around was like if I had any low division entries, build that first and then try and get high enough. And it did kind of work out that way, I suppose. So it's like it's a weird division because moving up is kind of really tough. Don't even get boxes that much. Like I've drafted one guy at 40 or whatever, and I've got like halfway to the next one sitting there, and I'm playing like 4 lineups most of the time, which isn't amazing, right? But it's better than one, which most things start with, don't they? So, so it's a really funny one, I think, to kind of quantify, because it's so busy in that way. Like, people playing free teams in all these divisions, you still find them everywhere.
I think what got me about Super Rare, like when they announced Essence, I was like, oh, that's going to be like the way that I get to win. Yeah, same thing. Like to win good Super Rares. And like even before the nerf, it was really tough for me because I was like only playing Classic. Maybe I had 2 lineups, but I think I was saying to Andy that what gets me about in-season Super Rare is how few people win money. And it's just like, whether I feel like I have good lineups or not, it's just like, it's a real struggle for me to be like, oh, 5th place is a box. And you're just like, oh.
Like, and I think Sean had mentioned this a lot on, podcasts from like February, and he's 100% right. Why not scrape a little bit off the top and just pay down to 8th, 10th place or something? I don't understand that logic at all, where we're just paying 3 people in these divisions.
Mm-hmm.
Pay it down. I'm not saying reward mediocrity and reward, people that aren't making good lineups, but there's really good lineups that finish in 6th place and get a box with level ups in it. That sucks.
No level ups in season.
Take it back.
Classic.
One super rare essence. You open that box and it has 1 super rare essence, and you're like, really, all that for 1 essence?
Yeah. Like that's exactly why I don't do it.
So that I can craft a tier 5 super rare.
Right. From Croatia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got some questions in the chat here. Do you reckon you could build a decent classic rare team from MLS with $175 just to try and win tier cards to repay off that investment and eventually allow you to play in season later on that season?
Yes. Limited. Rare. Limited 1,000%. Rare. Yeah, you could.
But
you could get that exact
let me reread that comment.
I'm literally like a hard no on this.
Man,
Zach Steffen's like 30 quid. So you've got your goalkeeper, 145 to build 6 players to be able to get boxes.
And keep them in Division 1 because you're going to need to.
No. You just need to win whatever division you can get to, like. So I can't remember what kind of stuff, but yeah, like the Challenger stuff or whatever. Like I've got some stuff that's never going to get to D1, and it's like just about managing that whole like. Are you in too high a division to actually make use of like a few goal scorers and a clean sheet goalkeeper and like an okay captain? Like, because in D2 and D1, like there is like a level that you'll just never break through unless you've got like proper cards.
What's
like,
the
doing things
best
that just
card?
kind of starting out.
What's the best card you think you can win in D2 or D3? I mean, there'll be a star rare, right? But it won't be the very
D3.
top of the star pool.
No, D3 won't have a star.
D2 will, but D3 will have what, a tier 1?
Yeah.
Is that like a Lucho type of card or something?
Yeah. He's probably
what is that, like $100 card in season, 150?
So I think as well in those divisions the head count's quite big. So getting into the top 20% for boxes is not that big of a mountain compared to some of these other divisions. Like Champ can be quite hard for that because it is like just more shallow. And if like Inter pop and Bayern pop and whatever, then the top 20% can just be like, for just gone. It's just off the table for whatever reason. But with like all the divisions in MLS, it's just like a bigger head count, so the percentages swing back a bit further, maybe.
What's funny about this is that the question was like, can you win enough in Classic to repay off the $175 and let you play in season? The problem was that like you repay that by selling the cards, and by selling the cards, you cannot play in season because you don't have the cards anymore.
It will take you forever to win a in-season team.
That's good enough to win that money back, I think.
Just start with an in-season team and hope to win enough money to make a Classic team. Classic Sean answer.
Quinny thinks we're too pessimistic on this.
But in season, early season isn't the same price as it in season. Like I'm buying in seasons now, mid season. You know, it's a totally different ballpark, a totally different game. So like my strategy coming into this season is kind of maybe what this guy's aiming at is like have a classic setup that just brings in season stuff that you can add in and kind of relieve yourself with. And yeah, like because in season, like early door prices, even though there's plenty of volume there, they're still like, you know, the good ones are pretty punchy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or just make a shit stack of a team that nobody wants.
Yeah.
Hope to
30
win
clubs in
each
MLS, you know what I mean? So like how many teams won't get like 10 wins?
Yeah, get a Colorado Rapid stack. or again, referencing Sean again. We should really have Sean on today with the number of times I've referenced him, but Chicago Fire stack, right?
I don't think you can make money back with the Chicago Fire stack. I don't even think there's a one time where it works out well enough for you. I don't know. Speaking of MLS, Service said my glass half full prediction: once MLS and then Europe next summer launches, it becomes clear that SoRare has found a sustainable model going forward and can finally move forward with fixing rewards. What does that mean, fixing rewards?
I think Surface is referring to the thing that we've always kind of been forever suffering with SoRare over the years is like everything is like forever changing in the sense of like there's always like new leagues being added, or there's then more money, or there's thresholds, and there's not fresh. There's always been something changing all the time. So the reward pools have always had to be kind of sorted and all the rest of it. And obviously this year coming into it, they've kind of had that clean run. But maybe he's talking about how like by the time they get to that next point, they've had like their, you know, they're coming off the launch pad in that sense of the reformatting, and you know, be able to completely fix all ills. Is my guess.
Do you think they fix them?
What is fix them?
Yeah. Well, like
in terms of the tiers, like surely to God, the tiers has to be like a guy. Everyone, Sean's the poster child of this. This hasn't been mentioned 3 times, so if he's Beetlejuice, he'll show up any minute. But yeah, it's just hiring somebody, isn't it? And it's just like follow all these Twitter accounts for all the licensed clubs, you know, and just every day check everything they post. And if anyone is like out for months, broken his leg, you know, or is gone, then what tier is that guy in? Let's just check. Oh, it's tier 2. That might be a problem, you know, or it's tier 4. Who cares, right? You know, and that's a guy.
I don't know if I'm 100% allowed to like say this, but I'm going to say it anyways. Spoke with someone at SoRare that said that they were going to change their tier system to be based on limited in-season prices. And I don't think that they've done that. And I think that was something that they were planning on doing like months and months ago. It seems like that is pretty much takes care of issues. I don't even know what they base it on now. I don't know how they get a player into a tier. I think they include secondary market sales, don't they? And it's like with the Doosan.
They clearly do. Like, I don't think they need to tell us like exactly how it happens.
Sure.
But when something like that happens and they're like, no, that's not what we do. And we're like, but why did this thing, way too coincidental that like this thing happened and then this guy, and it's like one of those, like, I don't think we really want to know. And there are probably a few people who are like asking to know because they want to like check it and like make sure it's right. But
yeah, I think people are just annoyed, and it's just like, all right, well, you guys can't figure this out, so tell us what you're doing, because whatever you're doing is probably dumb or feels dumb.
I think the move to using limiteds makes sense and has made sense for years, because one of the biggest issues they had, particularly at the super rare level, was like a lack of liquidity meant it's like, oh, this reward is worth just as much as the last one sold for. And it's like, that was 3 months ago. And the reason why it was 3 months ago is because he's not playing anymore. And it's like, it's little stuff like that that just seems, obviously from our perspective, very easy to fix. And apparently is not. But that's really all that we mean by fixing rewards, though, right?
I think so. There was a question, Laird, about the scoring matrix. Do you think there'll be any big changes to the matrix? And I know I can tell Quinny wants to talk about this, so I'm gonna just give you the mic.
I want goalkeepers to get double doubles to triple triples for something. I think it has to happen. Make goalkeepers
Like for punches and for smothers and
whatever.
all the Waffle House type of orders that you get from goalkeepers.
That's it.
Smothers, covers, sweepers.
Punch.
Yeah.
Keeper sweeper would definitely be a good one.
Yeah.
Saves and then like net passes or something.
Or saves in box. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. There's a whole bunch of just little tweaks. Like Germ just mentioned something with forwards, but it's just like what do they not get points for tackles? Give them points for tackles. Well, why are we not giving them points for tackles?
So that's the one thing that has driven me crazy since I joined SoRare. And it's not just that, but it's this concept that one stat is more valuable for one position versus another. Like, I don't know why there isn't just standard scoring. 3 points for a tackle one, the position does not matter. And I think the argument for forwards of not getting points, that they were it happens so rarely, so who cares? And it's because I want to be rewarded for the guys who actually do that. And
well,
Toby points this out. This is what's so stupid about it, is that you can get the double without the points for the underlying stats.
Not only that, but you have forwards that have different roles on their team, and maybe they're asked to do a lot of work in their own third or whatever, and it's they put in all that work. They're doing what their coach asks of them. They win a tackle, and you're watching the game, and you're like, oh, I got nothing for that. Oh, it's a dual one, I guess.
Dual one.
You want a dual, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the idea is that if you have a forward who is all of a sudden playing right back, and you're just oh, you get, and obviously you don't get the clean sheet points because they're not defender, and I'm actually okay with that for some reason. But if you're doing all the defensive work of a defender, you should get the points for it. Yeah, shout out Mats Kollert, who's now a defender. Graham said remove the double negative for keepers of possession lost and a missed pass. Yeah, just for lumping goal kicks down.
Possession won and lost are both just kind of overarching categories, but aren't they? That are just mass captured, so it's kind of hard to do that, I think.
Yeah, I think that the goalkeeper possession stuff has kind of been cleaned up a little bit. I don't have as big of a problem with it now as I used to, and it also does incentivize you to pick up a goalkeeper that plays it out of the back versus somebody that's just launching it long.
Mm-hmm. Scosmo said that Paul confirmed in Discord, the official Discord, that tiers and upper scarcities are not based on limited signals yet, but is planned. Yes, it's planned, but never a good idea to commit on a timeline.
Interesting.
Come on, just flip the switch, right?
Seriously. Just delete blue and type in yellow, and we're all set. Socrates here said, I love the game and have been playing for 3 years, and I don't get to hate. It's basically FIFA Ultimate, except you can win money if you're lucky instead of gems. And we'll just ignore the second part of that question.
What hate? What hate? There's no hate. Honestly, that's another big thing, too, with community stuff, constructive type feedback. I hope that what I'm saying and Quinny and Laird, whatever we're saying here, isn't coming across as hate. I don't mean for it to. It's more of just ideas and ways to improve.
Ways to make it that so we don't hate it.
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
Just kidding. Server said, I think there isn't standardized scoring across positions because it allows for a more balanced options for the extra outfielder choice. You don't want one position being too dominant.
I think if we gave 3 points for a tackle to a forward, then forwards would be too dominant.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
That's more points, isn't it? Because they currently don't get it. That would just be clean addition, So especially if it's 3 points, 1 tackle, 2 tackles on average every other game can make a big difference, I think.
Yeah, and I think the guys that tend to get a lot of decisives probably don't get a lot of tackles.
Right.
Maybe.
I think it's a bigger change than when they did I don't even remember what they changed that made Trent Alexander-Arnold rare cards worth 8 ETH, but
it was 1 extra point for an attempted assist.
No, it was the nerf to possession lost, wasn't it?
I think that's what yeah.
That's right. That's right. But it was both of those things too.
Yeah.
It probably happened all together, didn't it?
Was I right on that? 8 ETH?
Ooh.
It was a lot.
It felt like that was inevitable as well. Like people were just like, that was like one of those self-fulfilling prophecies. Like people were like, oh, if they ever change the Matrix, Trent will go mental. And then they changed the Matrix, and then people were like, oh, well, I have to go mental for Trent because I've changed the Matrix. And
just an absolute overreaction is what it was. And like, that's what you hope. And they're probably being a little bit careful about changes to the Matrix because they don't want to, upset people, but also burn people. And, like that, when you make the change, you just have to make sure that you're not, breaking the game in any way.
My favorite is when they announced that they were like, really doesn't affect that many people. And all of a sudden everyone was like, here goes Trent.
Laird, to be fair, they said that they provided the math. Remember, they had breakdowns.
They provided the math. They didn't provide the data. So these are the 3 in question, which look like, oh, they're not that bad. But when you change
they were against the grain, weren't they? Oh, yeah.
7.1, 7.99.
I wish I had one of them.
Oh, there's 2 there.
Yeah.
Damn.
Alex Harry, GG's, Sir Winchester, well done to you.
Yeah, those are good sales.
And Phil Bold, completing the podium. GG's to yous.
Mm-hmm.
You won Trent Alexander-Arnold, you completed it.
I don't remember a single other player like going like that either. Like it was just Trent.
Should have been Hakimi. I think we all know that.
Nobody wanted to wait that long. Let's see, did Hakimi?
Has it been that long a wait? Feels like Ashraf is always in amongst it.
I guess, yeah. Toby said Seattle looking into Rashford.
Oh no. He's definitely going to go to MLS. No one else is going to pay him money.
Hell yes.
He's definitely going to MLS. I've said this before somewhere. He's definitely going to MLS. No one in the Premier League will touch him. Who in Europe is going to pay him the money he wants? Like he wants Man United Paul Pogba money. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, so yeah, MLS all day for him, I think. Seattle, I hope he doesn't go there, but I would love him to go. I would love him to go to DC or Chicago. That would be the best thing ever because his true level would then be shown.
Damn.
That's a huge test.
He's apparently turned down 35 million pounds a year from Saudi.
Yeah, MLS all day.
Charlie said he doesn't get a game over Jordan Morris.
Agreed.
I assume Jordan Morris would have to move to striker. She's played a lot there.
Just signed Jesus Ferreira.
Oh,
that's going to be forward of the year, by the way. SO5 wise potential, does it not?
Thomas said Uncle Arthur's going to fly Rashford in on his yacht to get him to Atlanta. So 3 things about this.
Atlanta would be perfect for Rashford. He'll be injured every 2 games and he'll score like 4 goals a season.
Playing on that turf, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. But he'll get to hang out with everyone with his big jackets and his glasses.
There are 3 things here that I have to point out. Maybe it's only 2. One is flying Rashford on a yacht. I don't think yachts fly. And Atlanta, not on the water. You can't take a yacht to Atlanta.
Damn, Laird.
Those things hit me like immediately too. I was like, flying on a yacht. Wait, Atlanta? Anyways,
That
anyone
really would
know
mess me up.
Marcus Rashford and Jesse Lingard are friends? SoRare Soul asking for a friend.
No chance he goes to Korea yet. I would not rule it out, but one day.
Andy, who were we just asking to go to Japan? Oh,
Quinones.
That would be sweet.
Well, there was a rumor of someone else that has the last name of Quinones going to, I think it was Marinos.
I don't even remember where it was.
But it was
somewhere in Japan.
Wrong JQ.
Yeah. You think we ever get utility for that card again?
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Really?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's really confident.
Yeah.
Jorginho going to Japan. Why not? Sorry, your optimism that Quinones, we will for sure get.
Well, you think he's a lifer in Saudi Arabia? Like he's going to spend the rest of his life there?
Like knowing
not a chance.
I do believe that.
No.
Or he leaves Saudi but goes to Qatar, something like that.
Yeah. That's always a risk, but so few of them extend, don't they?
Yeah. Have
like,
any?
Everyone does like, okay, I've done my 2 years, I won't lose my sign-on bonus for leaving, like, or whatever. Yeah. They need to wait for it to clear. It feels like they've all got their wee dates, so they're like, okay, I'm done. Like,
I wasn't really
amount of money, like that's me.
I wasn't really following things when like the Chinese Super League was doing that, but like, was it the same where guys were going there, getting their bag and getting out of there?
So they left because the bag was empty.
Yeah, I think China kind of kicked them out and said, "Listen, we're just kind of done. Like, you're going to go now. keep what you've had, but you're not getting any more."
Right? Yeah, exactly. Except Oscar, he got it all.
Except Oscar, because he was all about that life.
Where's he going now?
Sao Paulo, I think.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a card. It's not going to get much worse. It'll be pretty good there, I think.
China, the massive rug pull.
I can't remember the whole deal behind it, but it was definitely like a minister of sport changed or something, and the new guy was like, "Fuck football," Back to the Olympics. Crack the whip.
Rob said, I think you have to stay 2 or 3 years to get a tax-free in Saudi. All right.
I think if that's related to Jordan Henderson, I think that's more of a UK thing. If he went straight back to the UK, it was basically as if he'd been on holiday, So they're not going to let him away. Don't care what they told you.
Zelarayan is back.
Yeah, he's back. How great is that for your soul, by the way, that he's back? Get utility. Did you hang on to your cards? Well done. I didn't.
I celebrated by buying an Arthur jersey mint from the Zelarayan crew year that I have.
Nice.
Quinny, you said well done, but I think the Zelarayan is probably worth less now than if I would have sold it right after he moved.
Fair. Depends how quick you are, I guess.
Yeah.
But like guys like that now, like if he pops off, they're so handy to have. Like random handiness is such a intangible in SoRare right now.
Like a Barco or something. Is that what you're getting at?
Oh, yeah. If he'd kept on to them, I think I had 2 rares in a super at one point. Yeah, I'm doing sweet. Do you know what I thought over this Christmas period? Is imagine I kept that Barco and imagine I kept all my Celtic supers. I would be like king of contender. I'd have just turned it inside out in like 2 weeks. Sigh. But anyway, who'd have known?
Grim said UK-based players have to be gone for 3 years.
Yeah.
Do they have to be in Saudi for 3 years or just out of the country for 3 years?
Out of the UK, I think, because just the way tax years work and stuff like that, and blah blah blah. Yeah, vast sums of money bringing in.
That makes sense. Who do you
Rashford salary is a third of Seattle's entire See, the embarrassing thing about that is they're definitely, whoever does this deal with him is going to do it under the illusion of we'll sell shirts, right? And they'll definitely sell shirts like locally, but beyond that, like no one will give a fuck that Rashford is at any MLS club, you know, like Minnesota or whoever it's going to be. He's not Beckham, you know.
Andy, you're not going to get the first edition Marcus Rashford Houston Dynamo shirt?
Imagine him at the Dynamo. So funny.
No, I think kind of Quinny, what you were saying, like there are certain teams that do probably make sense for him. Like Atlanta actually seems like it does because they have lots of money and lots of DP slots open, right?
They're definitely happy with people getting injured. They're very used to it, you know, like, you know.
Maybe
From the dead how many times?
guys, maybe a big splash for NYC, right?
Oh,
right?
no, never.
Come on.
They've just got that new manager from former AZ guy that was at some crap team. I forgot who, but I'm quite excited about NYC now. I was like, yes, a proper. Never liked that last guy, Cushion.
He was
always
awful.
annoying.
Downright awful.
Wasn't he like a MLS lifer? Like I think he was the assistant there for a long time or something.
I think he's definitely like been in like the New York CFG element for a fair length of time. He's just like a pure textbook guy. Just does it.
I just looked it up. He was the Man City women's coach for 8 years.
He's a women's coach, yeah.
And then the New York City FC assistant, and then the head coach. They were brutal under him. Oh,
Didn't realize it was the Man City women. I knew he coached women's football, but I didn't know what it was. Aye. I think he's back at women's football now. I think he left New York City for the Arsenal job or something like that. Like he's got, or I can't remember, but he's got a women's job. He left
I know
New
that's
York.
how these things work. Once you have
Yeah.
a job, you'll always have a job. But man,
It's incredible sometimes. He didn't do that like on paper. So he just showed the results. Like they did go through wee patches of like winning for 3 games or something, and then like they weren't on paper rotten, but they just SO5 wise suck. You know, made such bad choices with players.
Agent Cooper said Rashford can't go to Atlanta because Brad Guzan's going to save all of his shots in training, and Rashford will lose what confidence he has left.
So true.
Very true.
So true.
So that means, is it San Jose Earthquakes then for Rashford?
Just as far away from Brad Guzan.
Well, they're San Diego now too.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
right.
San Diego. Yeah. Well, I think they want De Bruyne. I think they're keeping their money for De Bruyne, aren't they?
I saw that. Yeah.
They're
Really?
keeping their pocket money. Yeah.
Is that good right now? Do we like that?
He's just that. Surely that's got Oscar China potential. De Bruyne and MLS.
Is it? I mean, he was older, but is it not just like Pirlo in MLS?
Nah, Pirlo was like done. Like when he came to MLS, like because AC Milan let him go, saying he was done when Juventus got him at 35 or whatever, and then he played there for like 3 years, got to Champions League finals or whatever, and then he was probably like done, and he's like, cool, I'll go to America now. And then they're like, no, we actually play like 1,000 matches every 2 days. Like, get on your bike, son.
He's a legend. What do you mean? He's an MLS New York City FC legend. What do you mean?
Inaugural team. He's a part of the inaugural team. You know, like it or not.
Hey, Laird, what's the little diamond in the bottom left-hand corner mean?
I think it's the legend diamond.
Legend diamond. Love that.
All legends have that.
Yeah.
Hey, zoom in. What is? Oh, it does. It says legend there. Okay.
Yeah. I owned a Pirlo once.
It's a nice card, isn't it?
I bought him because I was like, oh, summer utility for legends. And I bought, who else would I have bought? Mascherano, maybe? River Plate?
Nice.
1-0.
That's a bummer.
I'm just waiting for someone in comments to be like, oh, 2025, bring back utility for legends. I think I'm good with just letting that one die.
I wonder if there was any pending legends we never got cards for, because like, is this like agreement that this? I can't remember who it was that was talking about it. It was maybe Nep who was talking about legends, obviously because they're on FIFA and stuff. But I think the kind of vibe I've got from this over the time that it's been here is like it's basically an agreement with an agency that houses like 50 football legends, if you know what I mean, like Ronaldo and whoever else, blah blah blah. So I wonder, like, who else? Did we actually even get it? Yeah, maybe Laird, we've just had a wee. Yeah, on you go.
So
They did give us a list, didn't they?
yeah, there was what's that? What is the name of that? SoRare base. Is that SoBase? Yeah.
SoRare base is a thing.
They used to have like a new card, like newly minted card section. They might still have it. I don't know. And one day it showed like all of these legends. And I remember Gerard was on there. And did they have a Lampard? But then they never minted. Like they never actually minted the card.
Hey, the Phil Neville, was that a coach or was that a legend?
Coach.
Gotcha.
And there's one.
There's only one. Right?
They made 4 Ange Postecoglou's at Celtic as well, at Rare, 44 limited.
Wow.
And then they yanked them all. They yanked them. Hit the market and yanked them.
Like, people do own them?
No.
Oh.
You can see them. I remember seeing it when they launched. And if you search Angelos Postecoglou, not Ange, you put Angelos, you'll find them on site. And it doesn't show you anything, but it shows you that there's like 4 rares and 44 limiteds or something.
There he is.
On SoRare, he's got his picture.
That's crazy.
Money on the table.
Yes.
That Steven Gerrard card. See if you ever just want like 5 ETH off of You Never Walk Alone. Like, just start that unique Gerrard card, you know.
I don't think that account buys cards anymore.
Oh, sorry. Well, the account formerly known as You Never Walk Alone.
Pretty sure Phil Legend is an oxymoron.
Oh, I love that play. Love that. Agent Cooper.
Yeah, here it is.
It's a great photo of him too.
That's like a surprise shot, isn't it? Surprise! What?
Like, what would you need to see, like in front of you? What would you need to see to make that face?
What's funny is I think they were literally like, smile, and that's what he did.
He's just disgusted with something. Like,
Yeah,
they're holding something above the camera like they do for little kids, like to get them to smile, like a teddy bear or something, and he didn't like it.
they made a bad joke.
This Timbers logo behind him, they kind of look like
That is funny. That's funny. Are they little cat ears or is he a devil? I can't tell.
Defo cat ears. Defo cat ears. Nothing devilish about Phil Neville.
Scosmo said, that's the face you pull when you see the Phil Neville rare card in your pending offer.
Nailed it. He's just checked his notifications, hasn't he? Got one of those offers.
Anyway. Do we think they ever actually had a plan for coaches? Like extra XP or something? I bet they had concepts of plans.
Yeah.
It's definitely something you can use later on when the game is like stale or something like that, you know, like just to add in, like maybe even as just a rivals thing, like it's kind of like the tactics element of it, but in some other fashion, like may not replace tactics or add on to it, but it could be something, I don't know, similar, where it's like a defensive coach, so like your tackles are worth an extra point or something, or the tactic for defending is like easier to get, or I don't know. Could just be, you know, it could just be something when it's after like another 5 years of this, whatever we've got there now.
How about tactics within SO5? We've talked about it before, but is that something we'll see in 2025, even just in a special weekly?
Didn't they tell us they were going to do that?
Maybe.
I thought that was in a blog post somewhere that they were going to do, like, try it.
That makes sense.
Do you think if they added it, let's just say they added it permanently, do you think it would add like an extra depth to the game, or would it break the game?
I think, again, that's something you do once you're at that kind of boredom stage, when it is like nobody other than these kind of collections of teams and players will win, because there's that much circulation. Prices become where, like Barco, we joked about earlier, still some guys out there that aren't that easy to get for a few different reasons, but like the longer time goes on, like everyone gets easier to get. And when it is the point where, like, yeah, you'll still have your collections and your quirks and whatever, but whenever you're building your teams, you will eventually end up with a set of like 40 guys, maybe the best bits of, And when it's at that point where the game is like pretty stale, I think is when all this stuff is fair game. You know what I mean? And just totally resets the dial in some regard. You know, it gives an insight back into like edge and like knowing your guy, knowing the game, knowing the stats. But I think that now it's just overcomplicating it for no, because the whole focus has been on simplifying it, and it is pretty simple, but I think it's very easily made complicated again.
Quinny, what if? And I know that you're a big global all-star guy. You love global all-star, right?
Sure.
What if there was a global all-star division that had tactics in it, and that was it? It was just one division, tactics.
That'd be cool.
I knew I could win you over with the global all-star portion.
Yeah, you
Aye,
just
like-
sprinkle in all-star, yeah.
You could definitely have it somewhere, I don't know if you know what I mean, but I think like for it to be like a mainstay everywhere, like it's definitely something that like down the road it could just happen.
I think the reason they did it in Rivals was simply for like tiebreakers.
Yep.
And I think we're like so far away still from needing that in SO5.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
But
kind of.
theoretically,
I think
we
I was
will
kinda
at some
thinking-
point
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
when we have duplicate lineups and everyone's at 15%, and it's like, what do you do next? And it's like, oh, tactics. You just pull that one out of the back pocket.
Because everyone likes to jump to SO7s and 9s and all the rest of it, but you know, sell coaches cards, you know, and then it's another one that kind of just pays for itself in some sort of way.
Right.
Add tactics, do whatever. But yeah, I think 2025 will be a good SoRare year. I think SoRare's went through a lot over. We always talk about this, I suppose, at these times, but like, I think this year, like, it's hopefully onwards and upwards in a lot of ways. There's always going to be people. I've been unsatisfied with things at times this year, but like, the game overall is still like really fun. And even with the changes, I didn't really too fancy myself coming into this year. Like, everything has kind of worked out for a net positive when you look at the grand scheme of things. Like, I speak to more people than ever that win stuff like all the time, you know, that can join the game after a month or a week or two of making some mistakes. I've got at least one team where they're like that, right? You know, if as long as blah 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 and blah blah blah, then you know, and so many different leagues and sort of styles as well. It's not just the whole get a J League keeper and an MLS defender and then get lucky with some other players, you know.
Play a common goalkeeper because goalkeepers are too expensive.
Or rely on a loan from a friend. What?
Yeah.
What? Never.
I remember that episode you docked yourselves for that.
So statute of limitations surely have passed. Like,
Correct.
no way you can punish us now, right?
So funny.
We think we're getting a standalone MLS comp in 2025?
I very much hope so. But that will definitely be like a, don't want to say an expense to Super Rare, but I think if they do that, it's kind of Super Rare's not getting fixed the way we described anytime soon.
I want it, but I don't think they'll do it.
That's fair.
It's a lot of cards they need to sell, but that's a whole factor of the driver of stuff. But in this game, isn't it? Is what you can play, and there's a lot of MLS teams. There's a lot of cards to go around, you know. And you kind of need a reason for them not all to go into Challenger and just turn it into a Royal Rumble every week, you know.
The more I think of it, the more it makes sense to have it. Just like you said, and obviously from the user perspective, it's like, hey, do you want to use some MLS cards and not have to worry about Joey Veerman and Biscagli and the PSV?
But you
guy?
can if you want, and go and play for maybe a bigger prize. It doesn't need to be that great, you know, really, the grand scheme of things. It'll be lower in the pecking order of the other three standalone divisions, certainly. And then it's just kind of make sure it's not bigger than a region. So it's not going to be that, it wouldn't be that mega, would it? But it would like thin the herd because you'd get people that go, right, I'll play MLS rather than contender or challenger, sorry, I beg your pardon. So, and it will help them again, say, sell more cards because you've now got 3 sets of in seasons, 2 places now, you know, so that's double the card requirement if you want to go like full allotment, which many people seem to do at some point.
Yeah, like Andy, would you buy multiple in-season Hartle rares if you could play MLS, like an MLS only comp and challenger?
Yeah. Yeah, I think most of the MLS, like the MLS guys, would do that, right? Take a shot at Challenger or maybe they fade Challenger. I don't know. But I would think that a lot of people would play both Challenger and the MLS specific division.
Well,
Especially Laird, if you have good Challenger cards already.
Yeah.
You can use the MLS guys to kind of augment those lineups a little bit, and then also just run pure MLS stuff.
Mm-hmm. Quinny, you make the good point though. There's so many teams in MLS that like
30 next year. We're back to an even number, so that means no one misses out randomly anymore. The landmine game week is gone.
the old bye week, MLS bye weeks.
In theory, watch it happen, but somehow.
There'll be hurricanes. There'll be lightning storms.
Yeah.
There'll be lots of things. Yeah.
Some snow, maybe.
Yeah.
Does San Diego offer any particular dangerous weather we should know about?
Earthquakes.
Earthquakes.
Yeah. And probably a very, very low % chance, but they do get hurricanes, I think, sometimes, right?
Do they?
Like down towards the Yucatan there. I don't know.
Okay.
Like I think it's like a 1 in 100 years type of scenario, but I think it happens.
Okay. Sora Soul says maybe they scrap Challenger and Contender and bring in Europe, Americas, and Asia.
What a wacky idea.
You know what? SoRare FC Soul, I absolutely loved America and I loved Asia. And I hate that they're like, oh, MX and Asia and these other leagues, Scottish League are randomly thrown together. And then MLS is with Netherlands. Like they should have just kept it the way that it was. It was so good. It was so good.
Do you think they could?
Sense? It makes sense.
I think I'm trying to think like because geographically, I think you'd have like you could have Asia, you could have Americas, but they're just like there's too many European teams like leagues. So would they do Challenger and Contender just European?
Ooh,
sure.
Interesting.
Or just do Challenger, but then once you start removing the other crap that you've thrown in Challenger, it's probably fine.
It's
what
still
would Challenger
though,
even
like? If obviously the champ teams are there, but then you still have like Netherlands, Belgium, Scotland, Austria, Croatia, Turkey, Portugal. Like it's a lot.
Well, they don't have Turkey anymore.
You have 4 of them.
Got the best bits.
Then again, should Austria and Bundes 2 be in the same as Portugal and the Netherlands?
Fair.
Yeah.
Second division as well still muddies the waters ever so slightly.
I mean, they already had that, right? That was pretty close to being right.
It is weird to me that they have the English Championship in Challenger, but the other second divisions in Contender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So strange.
It's fun, but I like it.
Cameron says they cannot move leagues now, which actually this is when they would move them, right? They would tell us now.
Yeah, let's for next year.
Yeah.
To be fair, I agree with Cameron. It would be so stupid to be flipping back and forth. Well, we actually like the way that it used to be, and like I completely redid my gallery to like make it work with this shit, and now I'm gonna have to go back. Like you can't keep doing this to people, so it is what it is.
So my only response to that is, yes, they can. They can fucking do it if they want.
God damn it.
Do you think they change anything, Quinny? Like leagues, like domestic leagues in
Nah, I think they've got it quite sweetly where they want it now. Like the main focus is at the top, but like even because the problem that I think the real problem with going back into the geographical regions of it all is Champion America is quite firmly like a Champion America kind of region. And, if they really did kick the back teeth out of it, which they tried to at times, given us teams from Ecuador and, some Peru and stuff like that, then it could even go into a Champion and Challenger America region. Like if they really did kick the arse out of the global game kind of thing. But in Asia, there is no ability to do that without the Saudi League or the A League. So, like, if they're not going to do them, then Champion Asia just kind of dies on its little island by itself, where without All-Star and caps and all the rest of it, where like there's no interest, there's no crossover ability with those guys in particular. Whereas now, like, everything in that contender region is kind of fair game. It's just like a pick and mix. You know what I mean? Like, you can end up with a goalkeeper from Timbuktu and go and get 4 guys around him for £3. You know, like. You know,
So we said, didn't they say they wouldn't change what league is where until earliest summer 2025? They did say that, but I think that they would announce it in February or whenever this winter update is supposed to be and have it take effect.
Later, yeah.
And the next summer is the summer of 2025.
Portugal to overtake France in the champion. Is that what we're all thinking?
I think they would move the Bundesliga down before they would move Ligue 1 as being a French company.
I suppose, yeah.
It just seems like moving 2 leagues, meaning like just swapping 1 league each in challenger or contender, seems like it has so many more negatives than positives for the user base.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you anger your user base by making like a little switch like that?
Oh, well, you could totally move Liga MX into Challenger, and then when you do that move, you can move the second division of England into Contender. Just a quick little swap there. We'll take that, right? We're good with that. Come on, Larry, just say yes. You have a lot of Liga MX cards.
I actually don't like that.
Yeah.
Like I bought
over Argentina,
but like
you can't play Barco with your MX guys anymore.
What's that?
You can't play Barco with your MX guys anymore.
Well, there is some. I hadn't even thought of that, but it was more like I bought MX guys because I know I don't have to compete against MLS and PSV and whoever else. Yeah. And yeah, everyone keeps saying they should drop Denmark. I mean, you're dropping like 2 teams. Like it doesn't make.
I was just thinking there, by the way, like, see if Russia weren't like in all this bother and all this other crap happened over the last couple of years, like that would definitely be the challenger team, wouldn't it, over Denmark? Like Russia, when we had SO5 action, like Russia was a good league, you know. There's lots of fun teams there, some quality players, and also there's some cheat codes in it because obviously they're not getting minted and whatever, which is unfortunate. But Russia was a good league back when it wasn't a problem.
If
I can see Russia going up, if they were back in like if they like everyone was like, okay, Russia, we can play football with everyone else again. Like,
do you think they start minting cards immediately that day if Russia gets back into UEFA? Is that
definitely
what it was?
Spartak Moscow. Yeah.
I mean, we all had Russia cards at some point. Still do.
Oh yeah, I love the Russian. I was subscribed to a member of the Russian YouTube channel because you could watch games with English commentary, and it was like £7 a month. It was like brilliant.
Yeah, it was really cheap. Yeah,
it was amazing. It was every game, and it was like any guy you had or you'd seen that some guys score, you would just watch the highlights. It was like 90 seconds. You'd be like, oh, that was a screamer, you know, like, oh, watch that guy, you know, watch out for him. It's quality. Loved it.
Josh Forth was the first one to tell me that, and he was like watching. I'm like, how the hell are you watching it? And he's like, it's literally on YouTube. And I was like, oh, who knew?
That was incredible. Back when Jordan Larson was the guy, you know, the guy.
Quinny, have you looked at Jordan Larson's scores like when he was the guy recently?
No, can't say that I have.
Like, when you say he was the guy, how well do you think he scored?
I think I would need to base that on like wins. I think he won me like 3 or 4 pretty good things. So yeah, we're talking about 3 or 4 scores of quite prominence in a wee vicinity with some fine form for me to be picking them from. So I don't know, like 3 months.
Before I show you this comment, Toby said Zenit Cheska minted the same day the war ends. It's a great line. But anyway, this is Jordan Larson's score chart. Yeah. But like this, you nailed it. You were like a big run here, a few kind of good ones. Let's take out all the bad stuff here.
Then it was a transfer nonsense and going to Schalke and no getting a game and Like, he was brilliant at Spartak. Obviously, it was really hot for a wee bit, and then scores were still fine, but just not bro. And Schalke. Look at that. They played him centre mid, stuff like that. It's just crazy.
I played them all over.
It's abuse.
How much did I pay for this card? This can't be good.
That's all right.
I've seen a lot worse.
He'll go like, he has a proper player. Like, he'll go somewhere eventually and start scoring goals again, and it'll be in contender most likely. You know, so you'll be all right, Laird.
Graham said free Quincy promise.
That's.
We
I'm undecided.
More of a
I've
legal
not seen
issue than
Netflix documentary yet. Yeah.
We recently were like talking about like the perfect prison FC team, and of course he's on it. But he's still playing in, like, we looked it up. He was like in Dubai or something, or Qatar.
UAE, maybe?
He's like stuck there, I think, because they can't extradite him or something. He had like a arrest for some cocaine.
Yeah.
That was
They end up in these places by accident, do they?
This is Quincy.
Oh, Jesus.
Look at that little run there.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. By the way.
Oh, here you go. What if they brought back the Russian Premier League and that was in Champion Asia?
Russia were saying they might go into Asia because UEFA kicked them out. That was
right.
that was a theory we had at one point. It's like, oh, the Russians could go to Asia. So that's a wee theory that was knocked about, wasn't it?
I forgot about that. Huh. Anyway,
Dubai United he plays for at the moment. 6 appearances, 4 goals. Dubai United. 6 appearances, 4 goals. YOLO.
Legend. Club legend.
And do you have a grand prediction on something that's going to happen in SoRare in 2025?
Ooh. No. Let me think about that. You caught me off guard with that one, Laird.
I wasn't sure if you had one.
Bold predictions. Is that what you're going to call this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Quinny?
I'll let Quinny go first.
Big predictions. I'm not sure if I've got any, to be honest with you.
Let me ask another one while you guys think of that. The announced prize pool for this year was $15 million. Do you think the announced prize pool for the next cycle, which I assume is sometime in this summer, is the same, higher, or lower?
I'm going to say the same because, and I think you kind of brought this up on a previous stream, if they said 20, does that really get people that much more excited? I don't think that, like, just hearing that number means much. Like, me hearing that number doesn't mean anything. I don't know what that means. 15 million across 150 game weeks, across
300 competitions,
60 divisions or whatever. It's like, I don't know what that even equates to, like an extra $50 in one prize pool or something. I don't know. But I think it'll be about the same. And I think that if they lowered it, it would be a bad signal for people.
Quinny?
Yeah, I kind of was thinking, I struggle to see it being greatly different. So I guess what Black said is kind of what my feelings were as well. Like, yeah, it's probably be about the same. Yeah, like, I'm not too sure, like, because I think, like, if they're to increase the prize pool, like, is it the total amount that needs increase? I suppose it does need an injection of another couple of quid to help out the blue cards, as it were. But is that probably going to happen immediately? And then what I mean by immediately is the coming season. Maybe not. That's a problem they can maybe, again, just kick down the road for another day, perhaps, you know. And so deal with that problem when it's more valuable than what it is at the moment. It's limited and rare is like pretty decent now. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll say the same. It'll probably be a copy and paste job.
So Andy, I think what I said, or if I didn't say it, it's how I feel now, that I think going from 15 to 20 is the right move. It is like that's meaningful enough. But going from like 15 to 16 or 17, everyone's just like, oh, it's just like whatever. I think going to 20 is like a huge signal that they're like, yeah, we're ready to play.
Cool.
And lower than 15, I agree. It's just like, I think it's an absolute, it'll almost feel like a rug pull. Just a bummer that it feels that way, because like 15 million is a lot of money. So we'll see. We'll see. Liam said, controversial take, in-season rewards seem about right to me and no need to change. Classic needs a bit of love, in my opinion. I'm not sure it's a controversial take that Classic needs love.
Definitely not ready.
You know, I will say though, like, here's another thing that that comes to mind. It's maybe not a prediction or anything, but more of like something I don't want to see. The one nice thing about our classic cards is we can still use them in season competitions. And in my opinion, that has to stay. They cannot take that away from us. I would be extremely disappointed. That would probably be the like most upset I've ever been at them if they ever take that away. You only get one in limited and rare, and you get the 2 in super rare and unique. That has to stay.
So I completely agree. I can't think of like a worse thing they could do to like the use to, that would like, I can't think of a worse thing that how the community would react than how they would react to no more classic cards in in-season competitions.
The only way that it would be slightly palatable is if you did like none in limited, 1 in rare, 2 in super rare, and climbed it that way. But even then, like that's still not great.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that.
Well, because I think it just gives us the idea, like, all right, so like next year, then it's going to be 0 in limited and rare.
Right.
I think a big part of it as well is like, as much as like everyone kind of, especially recently this season, like, oh, only value the cards for, like the in-season yield, which is only one season anyway, and imagine they go to 0 and all the rest of it. No matter how you think about it, like anyone that kind of joins this game and kind of at any level understands that there's multi-season use out of these cards. Like, it's definitely a factor that gets you to play the game and buy cards, because everyone tells himself, no matter what, oh, well, this guy will play football for the next million years, so even if he sucks for the next 2 weeks, it might not be the end of the world. That is like in everyone's head somewhere. It's like an underlying factor of the game of like, you're going to keep them for maybe longer than you think, for whatever the reason might be. And I think to remove that, I think it just totally undermines, again, a lot of card ownership to this point. Even though everyone says like, oh, just sell men seasons at the end of the year, or who cares if they're worth 0. No one, that's not really an accurate overview of everyone's kind of, what gets them to buy,
I think what we definitely won't see is what Zhao said here, that they could change it to 3 in season and 2 classics for rare and limited.
They ain't going
well, that's what I said to them at the beginning of the season, and it was like, see, by this point in the year, like, it's totally fine. But I just thought initially it made the prices a wee bit punchier than maybe, it was what felt like kind of malleable for like mid-budget, low-budget people or whatever, because it was like you needed 4, so like good quality players were just extra demand. There was no room for error. You're taking your one classic, it's your keeper or it's a captain, and then everyone else is like a hot target for so many people, because you need all 4,
So I can't remember where this was brought up, but I had heard that idea that they would keep
stagger it.
They would keep classic, like keep your ability to use one classic card, but your captain had to be an in-season card.
Ooh.
And
cheeky.
Yeah, like that almost sounded worse to me than just making it all 5, because you're just like, I think a lot of people, I think it hurts the value of classic stars, because like those are the cards that people are buying to like play in season. And that feels,
I don't think it hurts them that much. I mean, you've got another captain in that lineup, right?
If you're bringing in a guy who can bring in 100 points, it's because you can't have one in season.
Well, then you're playing him with a bunch of crap, and you've got a bad lineup anyways, right?
Well, 72 is not a bad score. If that's the best guy you've got outside of that,
I'll take a captain on a 72 all day long.
Over 100, but
well, well, come on, Quinny.
Cameron said, I want to win cards only with Classic and keep in-season strictly cash. After all, you can sell cards unless they're blue. I don't know how they make Classic better. I was going to say more, but that's actually, I'll just stop it there. Full stop. I don't know how you make Classic better. Because I don't think throwing cash at it is a reasonable solution for them.
You could do cash for all the podiums, whether it's Division 1 or Division 4. I think that would be helpful and probably inexpensive. I don't know how much it would cost them. Like I said, over the course of an entire year and however many game weeks, maybe it is a lot of money, but that seems like some low-hanging fruit. But like, yeah, there's not a lot of improvements that can be done. And quite frankly, I don't think that it needs a ton. Just continue doing some of these special weeklies that give nice little utility or cash rewards. And then if they could throw a little bit more cash at people, I think that would be nice. But at this point, I'm fine with where it's at. Just don't make it worse. Do not make it worse. Do not make my classic cards worse.
Yeah, agreed.
That's fair.
Better is good.
Better is good. We haven't talked about SO11 or SO9 or SO7.
That's not happening anytime soon. SoRare Mega's coming back.
Do you think SoRare Mega is actually just SoRare, but they don't really have to deal with SO7? No?
I'm with Thomas. What about SO12?
SO12. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Real fantasy football there.
Yeah.
So you've got 12 guys in a team.
This is a fun one. Bring back Cap 240 with divisions, but only give thresholds in Division 1.
It's too busy.
Oh, Lord.
I was looking back at my cash rewards over the last few years because you can check it on the SoRare Data mobile app. And I don't think we will ever appreciate how easy it was to win cash.
Oh no, I fully appreciate it.
But we get it, but I don't think just so much money was thrown at us for not spending any money in this game.
Yeah.
Like you always said, Laird, it was like when you were explaining the game to someone or trying to get them to come play it, it was like, yeah, see, you'll just buy this low L15 Asian goalkeeper, okay? That's how we're going to start. That's how we're going to get you in. And then we have to find, 4 other crappy players to keep you under 240. And it was just
no, but we didn't even need that. We didn't have that. When it was just literally 205 and 250 from All-Star.
Right. Okay. So that was completely different. It was like build the best team you can and win $50 every week.
Every single week.
And
with this $800 Korean goal.
Don't worry, if you have a bad week, you win 25 instead.
Yeah.
Of course. Lower and minor threshold, remember them?
The lower threshold.
Yeah.
205 with a common card, $25. It wasn't even $25. It was 0.01 ETH. So it was probably less than 25 at the time, but
there were probably times it was worth more than 25.
When it first came in, it was £7 and £3 when it came in. 0.02 and 0.01 ETH. It was £7 and £3. Wow. I found a video ages ago. I've just always remembered it. But that's what it was.
Yeah. And then crypto boom, and they were like, okay, we can't keep paying $100 for 205 points. Scosmo said, to be fair, though, cards and sales were 50 to 100 times higher. So if they did 250 points for 50 cents in limited today, it would be the equivalent. Maybe.
Yeah, nothing would get me more excited than winning my 50 cents every week.
I was so surprised that they did a limited threshold. Like, see, when they actually did it, like limited and super rare and unique, I couldn't believe. Like, rare obviously was where it lived, and when they put it into all the other ones, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, that's incredible. So they've got way more money than I thought. Limiteds were getting a $5 every week. Just seemed like I couldn't believe it when it happened.
I do have a question for you guys, and there were a few mentions in chat about sustainability. Has anybody done the math?
Like, is it sustainable?
To look at sales data and then the 15 million that they rewarded or whatever, and been able to say that, like, yes, it's very sustainable. They're making money.
I think MPen wrote about it a little bit. I don't think we can know until MLS. Like, they haven't done a full cycle yet, so we're not sure like how MLS, J League, K League works out.
So they need a good MLS strategy to sell those cards into. No two ways about it. Experiences with Messi, experiences with Mascherano. Phil Neville's still in the league, isn't he? So it's going to be all sorts of.
What would the experience? What would the experience with Phil Neville be like?
Phil Neville experience, yeah.
Nellis goes to America. That's what we're going to get, isn't it? Just all of a sudden find that John's in America for 3 months straight.
Wait.
Oh, did you say Nellis?
Nellis or Neville? Oh, okay.
I said Nellis. The first time I said Neville. The second time I went to Nellis. I was just thinking about promotion.
Maybe it's both of them. You get both of them.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Who better to hang out with Phil Neville?
That's a good point.
I feel like John is like the one guy that would like make that actually like lighthearted and like not miserable.
John could definitely save his image. Make him look like a cool guy.
Scott was that the experience would be a professional photo shoot with Phil Neville.
Fizzer.
Will MLS Asia get special neon summer cards?
Christmas in July, baby. No, okay.
On the beach, maybe, and they're like hot, and it's like sand, or maybe ice cream lollies. What would fall, or what would kind of hover the background for the beach?
That sounds more like the Saudi edition, the sand. No,
but it's like the beach, summertime. You know, like
some palm
summer,
trees.
MLS summer. You know, California, yeah.
That's not all of America, guys. It's not beaches everywhere. Okay,
some
of us live. Hey, some of us live in the Midwest. All right.
No beaches in Atlanta. Can't take a yacht there either.
Yeah. We have rolling hills and rivers and cornfields.
Cosmo said players in the Club Speedo dynamic images. There we go.
Settle down.
It's the MLS hot guy calendar.
Hot guy calendar,
that Jimmer always wanted. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sunrise edition. There you go. I almost bought a Sunrise edition card the other day. 2x the floor. It wasn't Kimmich. I did see that one was on. I can't remember who it would have been now. Is this? Yeah. I forget who it was.
I think Quinny and I are laughing at the same thing. The red hat edition.
Yeah.
Oh. I can put it up here. There you go.
Yeah. MLS Mega cards.
Yeah.
Especially on Vanisier.
Dangerous place we're going now. Anyway.
It's okay.
Anyway.
We'll be all right. What's HG going to do? Fire you at this point?
That's a good point. Liam said, went out for a few beers with MPen a few months back, had some great insights to the game. Too bad I was bladdered and can't remember anything. Oh, well.
Sounds like a good night.
Yeah, right?
Does indeed.
Do we have? I don't know. Anyway, last chance for bold predictions for 2025.
Goalkeeper triple.
Have you scouted that at all? Like, does it actually like? Yeah, no.
No, it's arbitrarily they could make it whatever they want. You know, like could like it as now tackles, interceptions, net duels. Like it should be something, but
Do we go down the whole conceded penalty that is not converted?
Please fix that. Yes.
Please fix that.
yeah, that's like a bug more than a tweak or something. That's like something they should be fixing. You know, it's a pure bug and a half.
I'm with that.
All right, my bold prediction: Gary V comes back. He buys the entire supply of Lamine Miles. He curses him, just like he cursed João Felix. He becomes washed up, plays for Chelsea, and who else did João Felix play for? Can't remember.
Barcelona.
Madrid? Yeah, Barcelona.
Sort of played.
And cards go to the moon, but Yamal cards, don't go to the moon.
It's not fun.
The sacrifice we all need.
Yeah. I'm down with that sacrifice. I don't know any.
Yeah, you don't own one.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Quinny, you got one?
I wanted to make a funny one now about MLS, but I can't think of what I want to say. But I think Stuart Armstrong will be pretty good this year.
Where is he now?
Got my wee Vancouver.
Vancouver, that's right. He was somewhere.
Scottish players do well. Love Canada.
Yeah, they've got
Scottish
like
people.
a little Scottish thing going on there, huh?
Aye. I was going to say greater
They
than
all
Carlos
speak the
Steele,
language.
but not that confident yet. But could be.
Fair enough.
He was
I'm
on the
going
way
to go
down.
with the, yes, there will be an MLS single league comp.
Oh yeah, that's a bold prediction, Laird.
Yeah.
Bold.
I think we're getting it. However, I don't think we're getting it right away. I think we'll get it sometime in the summer when they're like, we haven't sold any of these cards. And they'll be like, wait a minute. And
Nah, surely not. You think so?
Yeah. Like May.
It's like a takeover thing. Like when those close, it'll open. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very bold.
That's it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. If you could please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hey, shout out to Quinny. Go over to Quinny 3001 on YouTube. And really, is there anywhere where you are not Quinny 3001?
No, that's everywhere. Yeah,
That's it.
everywhere on
Perfect.
social media.
Yeah. So everywhere, go subscribe, click on the button, all that good stuff. Quinny, thanks for coming on. Happy New Year.
Pleasure's all mine. Happy New Year. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. And good luck to everyone out there. Oh, remember to get those steps in.
Welcome to the SoRare